Okay, let's unpack this. The world is absolutely buzzing with AI, right?
I mean, it really is.
And if you're running a business, you're probably wrestling with the big question, how can my company actually leverage this power? Especially if you're, not operating on bleeding edge tech, but maybe on systems that have been around for a while?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what we're diving into today, a practical, actionable guide for small and medium businesses, SMBs, to integrate AI agents with their existing legacy systems without, a full-scale digital overhaul.
Well, what's fascinating here is the sheer scale of the opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, many SMBs already grasp the promise of AI.
Yeah, the stats are pretty high, aren't they?
They are. We're seeing like 78% automating routine tasks and 9 out of 10 reporting major efficiency improvements. So the potential is clear.
But there's always a but.
Right. There's that common hurdle, the complicated legacy systems that don't play nice with new tech. It's a real challenge.
Okay.
So our mission today is to give you a shortcut, basically.
Yeah.
A clear roadmap to understanding the how, not just the why.
Right, the practical stuff.
Exactly. Covering, smart implementation plans, key things to think about like data and security, different ways to actually connect things, the integration scenarios, and some really compelling case studies that prove this isn't just possible, but incredibly rewarding.
And when we talk about rewarding, we mean tangible results. Like, imagine cutting your processing costs by 2/3.
Huge savings.
Or boosting revenue by 4%, maybe seeing a staggering 353% ROI over just 3 years. These aren't like hypothetical numbers.
No, these are real outcomes from SMBs already doing this.
Right. So if you're looking to unlock those kinds of gains without getting lost in, technical jargon or feeling overwhelmed, this deep dive is absolutely for you. That's a powerful vision, but it immediately raises the question, why is the timing so absolutely critical? Why do SMBs need to jump on this right now?
Yeah, it's truly a confluence of factors.
Yeah.
But the real game changer for SMBs isn't just that AI is available.
Yeah.
It's that the sheer velocity of AI innovation means early adopters aren't just gaining an edge. They're potentially creating a really big gap for those who wait too long.
An unbridgeable chasm, almost.
Kind of, yeah. And cloud platforms, plus increasingly affordable software as a service, SaaS tools, they've made advanced AI capabilities incredibly accessible. It's not just for the tech giants anymore.
So the barrier to entry is lower.
Much lower. We're seeing a huge shift. 75% of SMBs are already investing in AI or plan to, and 71% are increasing their AI budgets. The competitive pressure is genuinely real. Businesses not using AI risk falling behind firms that are boosting efficiency with automation.
Okay, but let's talk about that legacy system elephant in the room again. Isn't that a huge, maybe insurmountable blocker for a lot of these businesses? It feels like this big, immovable obstacle.
It does, and that raises an important question. How do you balance that need for agility with older infrastructure? You're right. Legacy systems often create data silos. Critical information gets locked away or in separate, often proprietary databases. They just weren't designed for modern data sharing, which really prevents true innovation.
Right.
But the demand is surging. And things like cloud AI services, large language models, robotic process automation, they're now both affordable and incredibly capable.
So the tools are there.
The tools are there. And early adopters are already showing quick wins. For instance, we saw one retailer cut order processing time by 60% using AI agents.
Wow, 60%.
Yeah. And an interesting insight here is that the process of just preparing legacy data for AI, that often forces a long overdue data cleanup.
Oh, like a side benefit.
Exactly. It unlocks value even before the AI is fully running. It's like a forced data detox that actually pays dividends.
Okay, we've talked about the why, the urgency, but the real magic is in the how. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. When we peel back the layers, what exactly are these legacy systems we're typically dealing with in an SMB? And how do you even begin to bridge that chasm with AI?
Well, common legacy architectures for SMBs often include monolithic applications. Think of one single massive program doing pretty much everything.
Right, the old school way.
Yeah. Or older client-server setups, or maybe even mini mainframes that have been running your core business for a decade or more.
Okay.
The fundamental issue, typically, is that these systems lack modern APIs, application programming interfaces.
Which are like the communication rules between software.
Exactly. An API is basically a set of rules allowing different software applications to talk to each other smoothly. Without them, AI agents can't easily access or input data.
So you need workarounds.
You do. This means AI agents have to use some clever integration patterns that kind of work around the old architecture.
Clever integration patterns. Okay, this sounds like where the real ingenuity comes in. Can you maybe unpack a couple of the main ones that SMBs can actually use?
Absolutely. Three common patterns often spring to mind. First, there's the Strangler Fig pattern.
Okay, interesting name.
Yeah, it's like a vine, growing around an old tree and eventually replacing parts of it.
Oh, okay.
So here, you gradually wrap legacy functions with new, modern microservices, these small, independent services, and you slowly replace the old parts piece by piece. It minimizes disruption.
Got it. So gradual replacement. What's next?
Second, event-driven setups. This is where you push legacy data to something called an event bus, like Kafka.
Kafka.
Think of it as a really efficient, reliable postal service for all your data. It ensures messages get from your old system to your new AI agents without a hitch, even if the systems work at different speeds.
Makes sense. And the third?
The third is the microservices facade. Here, you essentially build a new modern API on top of the old system.
Like a mask.
Sort of, yeah. It creates a clean, modern interface for AI to use without actually touching the legacy core directly.
Right.
Now, in practice, many SMBs find success using middleware or integration platform as a service IPS tools.
Like MuleSoft, Ricardo, Zapier, those kinds of things.
Exactly. They're basically digital translators that connect different applications. And there are even specialized platforms like OpenText Veristream that focus specifically on bridging older mainframe apps to modern platforms.
That's a great overview for systems with some kind of interface, however old. But what if there are no APIs at all? Like none. Is it a lost cause then? Is it truly impossible?
Not at all. It takes a bit more creativity, but it's definitely doable. For what we call no API systems, AI agents can still interact.
How?
Well, one common option is screen scraping.
That sounds manual.
It kind of mimics manual work. You use robotic process automation or POA bots to emulate what a human user would do, literally clicking, typing, copying data from the screen of the legacy application.
Okay, so the bot pretends to be a user.
Precisely. Or you might use custom command line interfaces, CLIs, if the old system understands text-based commands.
Right?
Sometimes it's about building custom one-off wrappers. For example, maybe creating a GraphQL wrapper over an old database. Yeah, it's a modern way to query data. This wrapper essentially creates a flexible interface, allowing the AI to ask for exactly the data it needs rather than trying to navigate rigid old structures.
That sounds powerful.
It can be.
Yeah.
Or you might use a powerful data orchestration tool like Apache NiFi. NiFi is great at moving and transforming data between almost any system. You could bridge an old ERP system into a new AI layer, for example.
So the bottom line is, even with no API, there are ways. You might need to write small integration scripts or use RPA, but there's almost always a workaround.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, so connecting them is one thing, but that's just the start, right? Once AI agents are in the mix, what are the big guardrails? The critical factors a business needs to lock down? I imagine data has got to be near the top. And security.
You're absolutely right. Data is paramount, and security is just non-negotiable. AI agents need usable data, obviously, but legacy SMB systems often store it in proprietary formats, flat files, maybe uncatalogued silos. It makes it hard to access. And actually, here's that insight again. The process of preparing this legacy data for AI often forces that long overdue data cleanup.
Right, finding value even in the prep work.
Exactly. Common solutions involve ETL extract, transform, load data pipelines. Tools like Apache NiFi, again, can convert old records into modern formats like JSON or CSV on the fly, making data digestible for AI.
Okay.
And critically, data quality is often a big issue. You'll find missing fields, inconsistent entries, you name it.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Pretty much. While modern AI can sometimes see through some dirty data, the better your input, the more reliable your AI output will be. So cleaning and augmenting that legacy data before feeding it to AI is always the best practice.
And on that note, what about the speed of data? If a legacy system is inherently slow, which many are, can an AI agent still get real-time info without grinding everything to a halt, or are we just stuck with like nightly batch processing?
Yeah, that's a key challenge. If an AI agent needs real-time responses, like, say, an immediate inventory check for your e-commerce site.
Right. Can't wait overnight for that.
Exactly. Relying directly on a slow legacy system is going to be problematic. So in these cases, you should really consider buffering data. Put it in an intermediate cache or maybe a message queue.
Like AWS SQS or Kafka again?
Precisely. Things like Amazon's SNS SQS messaging services or Kafka. They act as a smart buffer, handling data as it arrives, ensuring the AI gets it quickly without overloading the old system.
So decouple them.
Essentially, yes.
Mm.
The advice is generally to avoid over-reliance on real-time data from slow legacy systems. Implement asynchronous pipelines where tasks don't have to wait for each other. Now, for simple reporting or insight tasks, maybe a batch export like a nightly CSV dump might be perfectly fine.
Okay. Now, with all this data flowing between old and new systems, it really does sound like a potential security nightmare for an SMB trying to avoid a major breach. How do you protect sensitive customer or financial data when bringing AI into these older systems?
You're right to flag that. Security and compliance are absolutely non-negotiable. SMB data, whether it's customer info or financials, must remain encrypted and access controlled.
Standard best practices.
Definitely. Use things like role-based access control, RBAC, to restrict who or what AI agent can do what. Ensure all communication channels are TLS encrypted. That's the same standard securing websites. A crucial step, often missing in legacy systems, is implementing audit logging, specifically on the agent's actions. You must track every action the AI takes within the legacy system.
So you know what it did.
Exactly. Yeah. And for regulated industries, think healthcare under high pay or finance under PCI DSS, you need extra care.
Right. Compliance is huge there.
Absolutely. Strategies might include anonymizing sensitive fields before sending data to third-party AI services, or maybe even running the AI solution on premises or in a private cloud to keep data exposure minimized. Ultimately, make sure your integration uses secure APIs or robust middleware. Think API gateways, VPNs.
Yeah.
And ensure every AI call can be audited. You really don't want to become the next data breach headline.
Definitely not.
Okay, so you've got it connected, you've secured it, but once it's all live, how do you know it's actually working correctly? How do you ensure it's not causing subtle problems or, worse, quietly corrupting data? How do you maintain trust in this hybrid system?
That's where monitoring and audit become absolutely essential for, well, peace of mind.
Right.
You need to install observability tools, things that provide logging and metrics to track precisely what the AI agent is doing to your legacy system. What data is it reading? What is it writing?
Visibility is key.
Totally. Maintaining a versioned API contract is also crucial. So if an integration changes, if it might break something downstream.
Makes sense.
And always, always have human-in-the-loop fallbacks for critical operations. For example, maybe require manager approval for high-value transactions initiated by the AI. Don't just let it run wild on critical stuff initially.
Good safety net. Exactly.
Yeah.
Regularly reviewing logs helps you detect anomalies or maybe unauthorized access attempts. It also ties into managing operational risks. You absolutely must have a rollback strategy if an agent somehow corrupts data.
How do you test safely?
Always keep backups of legacy data, that's crucial, and thoroughly use sandbox testing in a safe, isolated environment that mimics production.
Okay.
A really great approach is to run the AI system in parallel, or shadow mode, alongside the old process during testing. The AI does the work, but doesn't actually commit changes. This lets you compare outputs and catch issues early without impacting the live system.
Smart.
And remember, robust monitoring isn't just about catching errors. It's also about actively discovering new, maybe unexpected efficiencies the AI uncovers, things you can then amplify. So the advice is start with low-risk functions and use a phased rollout to ensure business continuity.
Okay, so we've really laid out the technical considerations, the integration patterns, the crucial factors like data, security, monitoring. But what does this really look like in practice for a business? Can you give us some tangible examples of SMBs seeing real value from these kinds of integrations?
Absolutely. Let's look at some compelling case studies. These really demonstrate the impact and sometimes surprising wins.
Great.
Okay, for retail support automation, we saw one retail brand integrate an AI help desk agent with its, get this, 15-year-old CRM system.
Wow, that's definitely legacy.
Oh yeah, by using a GraphQL adapter, one of those wrappers we talked about to bridge the systems, they saw customer support handling time fall by a massive 45%.
45%. That's huge for a support team.
It really is. For an SMB, that's potentially the difference between burning out your team and being able to genuinely scale your customer service.
Okay, what else?
In manufacturing scheduling, a mid-sized manufacturer automated production scheduling from its, again, legacy SAP system.
Another common one.
Right. Using an ARPA agent combination and Apache NiFi for the data bridging, they saved an impressive $2 million annually just by eliminating costly scheduling errors.
$2 million just from
Okay.
scheduling.
Yeah. It proves that even very old ERP systems can be augmented and yield incredible financial returns when you apply AI smartly.
Amazing. Any others?
Let's look at inventory optimization. A Dutch retailer called Schuby boosted revenue by 3% and cut excess stock by 2% using AI demand forecasts fed by their existing systems.
That goes straight to the bottom line.
Directly. And another retail chain reported 29% better forecast accuracy and 47% fewer overstock items. That's less waste, better cash flow.
Yeah, massive improvements.
And one more in financial administrative efficiency. A financial services firm automated its accounts payable process with AI bots.
Okay, AP automation.
Yeah, they cut processing costs by 67% and approval time by 58%. This allowed their small AP team to handle 25% more invoices without hiring new staff. Think about what that means for a small accounting department. It's a total game changer.
Those numbers are just incredible. A 45% drop in support time, $2 million saved annually. It really drives home the message, doesn't it? That with even a, let's say, modest upfront effort and a smart integration strategy, SMBs can see these double-digit savings and productivity gains that are truly transformative.
Indeed. And broad surveys back this up. 90% of SMBs using AI report faster operations.
Wow, 90%.
Yeah. And a Forrester analysis found that SMBs using Microsoft Copilot, for example, saw an average of plus 6% net revenue and 20% lower operating expenses.
Revenue up, costs down. Can't argue with that.
Exactly. But it's not just about the bottom line, which is important. It also means things like a 65% reduction in time spent on tedious tasks.
That's huge for employee morale.
Absolutely. It significantly boosts morale and frees up your staff for higher value, more engaging activities. That's a discovery of new efficiencies that impacts both the business and its people.
Okay, this is all really motivating. But for someone listening right now thinking, this sounds great, but where do I even begin? What's my first practical step? What's a clear, actionable roadmap you can offer them?
Right, getting started. A clear step-by-step approach is crucial here. Don't try to boil the ocean.
Okay, step one.
First, assess and plan. You need to audit your legacy systems. Like a digital archaeologist, really dig in. Document what software runs your critical processes, what data tables exist, are there any APIs or integration points available, even old ones.
Find out what you have.
Exactly. Identify those data silos, maybe CRM data is separate from accounting or locked in spreadsheets. You might find, for instance, that your old billing system can export CSV files even without a direct API. That's a pathway.
Okay, assessment done. What's next?
Second, define a pilot use case. Choose a low-risk, high-impact process to automate first. This isn't about replacing your entire ERP on day one. Start small. Start small. Prove value. Good examples are maybe a chatbot for internal IT FAQs, an AI tool to help generate monthly sales reports, or an AI assistant to sort incoming customer orders. And set clear, measurable success metrics before you start, like reduce weekly billing hours by 50% or cut customer response time by 20%.
Got it. Pilot defined. Step 3.
Third, select technology and vendors. Evaluate AI platforms that specifically mention support for legacy integration. For SMBs, it often makes sense to prefer turnkey cloud services with built-in connectors. Think Microsoft Azure AI, Google Cloud AI, or maybe RPA tools known for having good legacy adapters.
Check reviews.
Definitely check user reviews, especially focusing on ease of use and SMB-friendly support. And plan any necessary infrastructure upgrades, like maybe needing a bit more cloud storage or processing power.
Okay. Tech selected. Step 4.
Fourth, integration development. This is where you actually connect the dots. Use those existing APIs or middleware if you can. If your legacy app has a database you can access, an integration layer can read and write data there.
What if you need custom stuff?
Then you build custom adapters if needed. Maybe a simple Python script to read an old file format and convert it to JSON for the AI. The key here is keep all this integration code version controlled and well documented. Future you will thank you.
Good advice. Okay, step 5.
Fifth, pilot and monitor. Launch the AI agent, but in a limited context, maybe just for a small team, or run it in that shadow mode we talked about, where it runs alongside the old process without directly affecting live operations.
Test carefully.
Yes. For critical operations, run old and new processes in parallel for a while. Double-check the AI agent's outputs with human oversight at first. And track those key performance indicators continuously: time per task, error rates, get employee feedback.
Okay, pilot running monitoring. What's the final step?
Finally, iterate and scale. Based on your pilot results, refine the integration, fix any glitches, maybe retrain the AI model as needed. Once confidence is high, then you gradually roll it out more broadly across the organization.
And train people.
Crucially, provide thorough training for staff. Emphasize that the AI is an assistant, not a replacement. Show them how it helps them. how to work with its suggestions, what value it brings, and highlight those early wins to
Mm.
build support and excitement across the company.
That emphasis on assistant seems really important. It leads us directly into managing the human element, right? For many employees, the idea of AI coming into their daily workflow, well, it can be daunting, maybe even threatening.
Absolutely. Change management is vital, and honestly, it's often overlooked in tech projects. You must engage employees from the very start.
Address the fear there.
Address the fears head on. Common ones are job loss, or maybe that the AI will make mistakes they get blamed for. Reinforce that these agents are assistants, designed to augment human capabilities for higher value, more interesting work, not to replace people. And always stress that humans remain in the loop for quality control and critical decisions.
Training helps too.
Definitely. Provide hands-on training, clear, concise documentation tailored for busy staff, not technical manuals, and leadership needs to visibly champion the project, clearly explaining the strategic value and the benefits for everyone.
And check in afterwards.
Yes, after implementation, regularly survey users, get their feedback, ensure they're satisfied, and be prepared to adjust the process based on their invaluable on-the-ground insights.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what does this really mean for you, the listener? We've covered a lot from identifying those clever integration patterns for even tricky no API systems to seeing the real world ROI and laying out a clear step-by-step implementation roadmap. It really feels like it's about empowering your business, doesn't it?
It really is. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's about transforming your business, but doing it incrementally. Don't get overwhelmed by that legacy label.
Yeah, it sounds scary, but maybe it doesn't have to be.
Exactly. As we've seen with tools like GraphQL wrappers or data pipelines using Apache NiFi, even very old ERP systems can be successfully augmented with AI. The key is a measured approach. Start small, show those tangible wins like saving one person month of tedious work or cutting order or lead time in half. These immediate successes build momentum and crucial confidence.
It builds belief in the process.
Realistically.
Okay, and for a final provocative thought for everyone listening, while integrating AI agents acts as this really powerful bridge to modernize your operations today, maybe consider this. What core legacy function in your business, once you've successfully augmented it with AI? What function then becomes the next prime candidate for a full strategic migration to the cloud? How can this integration be a stepping stone to truly future-proofing your business for the next decade?
Exactly. It's not just about fixing today's problem, but setting up tomorrow's success. The rewards we've talked about save time, lower costs, happier customers, and actually happier employees too. They truly make the journey worthwhile, and it really does open up a whole world of future possibilities.
That's it for this deep dive. We really hope this guide helps you confidently explore integrating AI agents into your business no matter where you're starting from.